Good morning and happy Make It Happen Monday. Let's talk about this new trend going around, hashtag quietly quitting. It makes no sense to me. Quietly quitting means that you're doing just enough to get by, to pay your bills and have just enough left over because you don't want to do extra work. Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, what we did? We did whatever it took.
You've probably heard this term thrown around, quiet quitting. What does it mean exactly? We'll get into that in a second. But first, what is this guy on about? He's mad that people aren't going above and beyond at their jobs. Here's the thing, if you want to go the extra mile, that's your right, you can do that. I would urge people to do exactly what's laid out in their job description, because that's all you're getting paid for, most likely. But this guy yelling at his phone in his car, and bosses and pro-business media alike all have in common is that they are taking a very anti-worker stance with this quiet quitting hysteria. All these takes are trying to perpetuate the hustle culture mindset that is really just exploiting people's labor.
So when you want to go buy that new car or that new house or whatever it is, don't quietly quit. Do something more. Go that extra mile. That's what's wrong with the world today. Nobody's willing to do anything more than what's expected.
They want you to think that if you put in more work, you'll get noticed and eventually advance in your career. And we found out over time, and this isn't surprising, that that's not always true. That typically, when bosses see that you're putting in extra work, they'll just let you do it. They have every incentive to just keep letting you do that, because the more you do, the fewer people they need to hire to get everything done, which means the less they have to pay, which leads to higher profits. So that's exactly what they want, and he's reinforcing that mindset. So don't buy into that for a second. But there are some good articles out there about it. And this one from NPR did a decent job talking about it. Look at the first few lines in this piece. Closing your laptop at 5 p.m., doing your assigned tasks, spending more time with your family as a result. That's what quiet quitting is. It's literally just doing your job. It's not spending extra hours at work. It's not going above and beyond. It's not doing things you aren't being paid to do. If employers want you to do those things, they should pay you. They should give you a promotion with higher compensation and assign you those tasks. If you want that, that is. But if you're completing every aspect of your job, that's not the bare minimum. That's doing your job. If there's an issue with job performance, that's a different question entirely. But that's not what they're describing with quiet quitting. And this is something that's been pushed by bosses, by employers, by pro-business media. And we've seen this in a wide range of issues. Look back to earlier this year when the Great Resignation was happening. Millions of people left their jobs seeking better conditions, whether that's a better work environment or better pay or just a change. We saw tons of stories from pro-business press talking about how this isn't actually good. You should keep your job. You shouldn't jump around. And this piece from Bloomberg is really great. So tens of millions of people quit their jobs, and a poll finds that 75% or so are happy about it. So how does Bloomberg frame it? Millions of people. That's 25% or so of the tens of millions of people regret it. And that's what they want you to think about. They want you to live in fear and worry that you might regret leaving your job. So what I'm saying is, quiet quitting is not about not meeting your job requirement. You meet your expectations, you fulfill your job description, and you have a happy work-life balance. You don't need to spend your time outside of your daily work working more. Enjoy that time with your friends, your family, doing what you want. You don't need to work for free. You don't need to do things that aren't expected of you. That's not quitting. That's literally just doing your job.